Okay, let's jump right into this deep dive.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're tackling a story that really sits right at that crossroads, doesn't it?
Hmm.
High-stakes business and, well, incredibly public personal lives.
Definitely. The big news everyone's talking about is this massive deal. Hailey Bieber's Road Beauty brand
Right.
and ELF Beauty.
And the sources we've pulled together, they give us such a layered look.
They really do. You've got the hard business facts on one side, the valuation, how the deal is structured, who's doing what going forward.
Mhm.
But then these same sources, they also weave in these quite intimate details about Hailey's relationship with Justin Bieber, referencing specific posts, quotes.
Yeah.
It adds so much context.
Exactly. So our mission here is, to unpack all of that.
Mm-hmm.
What are the really key takeaways about this huge business win?
Yeah.
And how do the sources help us understand how it connects to this very, very public life Hailey leads?
This deep dive you'll see, using specifics from our material, just how tangled up these worlds are.
So let's start with the main event, the business headline, because it is enormous. Road Beauty, founded by Hailey Bieber,
Yep.
has just struck this major deal with ELF Beauty.
And the number that just leaps out from the sources is the valuation. They're valuing Rhode at $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just staggering, especially when you think about how fast it happened.
Right.
Road Beauty only started in 2022. So getting to $1 billion valuation in, just a couple of years?
Mm-hmm.
That speed is one of the first really big things the sources point out.
It's not just the number, it's the timeline. It says a lot about the brand's strategy, its impact. Obviously fueled by Hailey's platform, yeah. But the sources suggest it also hit the right notes with product, with positioning.
Totally. And looking at the details in the sources, it's not just like a straight purchase either.
No.
It's structured as $800 million up front. That's cash and stock at closing.
Mm-hmm. Plus, there's that potential $200 million earnout. The sources explain this is tied to how well the brand grows over the next 3 years. So kind of like a performance bonus, right? ELF pays that extra bit if Rhode hits certain growth targets. So that full billion, it relies on continued success.
Gotcha. The sources also make it clear Hailey isn't stepping back. She's staying on as Chief Creative Officer and Head of Innovation for Rhode.
And taking on this new role, too, Strategic Advisor for ELF, which, it shows how much they value her input, not just for Rhode, but maybe across their whole business.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And her ambitions seemed pretty clear in that Instagram post she shared, the one about the deal on May 28th.
Yeah, I saw that.
She said she always had big dreams for the company and that bringing Rhode to more spaces, places, and faces globally was really important to her. This partnership, well, it's a direct way to do that.
Absolutely. And, while Hailey's the face, the sources do mention the others involved in building Rhode and making this deal happen. CEO Nick Vlahos.
Right.
And the co-founders, Lauren Ratner and Michael D. Ratner. Takes a village for something this big.
No doubt. But Hailey is, undeniably the central figure here. And that's where the sources immediately pivot to the personal side.
Yeah.
How does this massive business success connect with her very public life, particularly her relationship with Justin Bieber? This is where the material gets really interesting.
Yeah, what's fascinating is how the sources instantly link this huge business news to Justin Bieber's reaction.
Right.
He gave her this really supportive shout out on Instagram. It was the day after her announcement, May 28th.
He shared a photo of Hailey, a screenshot of her post about the deal, and just added this loving message.
But the sources, they make a point of highlighting the timing of this support. Because, they note, it came right after what they describe as a somewhat controversial post he'd made just a few days before.
Yeah, the May 20th one, about her solo Vogue cover.
Exactly.
That Vogue cover post, it gives you a lot of insight into their dynamic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He actually openly recalled telling Hailey years ago that she would never be on the cover of Vogue.
Wow. And he explained why he said that.
He did. He attributed it to feeling disrespected is the word he used, and trying to get even, which is, remarkably candid for someone that famous.
It really is. And he didn't just leave it there, did he? He reflected on that whole mindset.
Yeah, recognizing that trying to get even, it just doesn't help. His quote from that post is pretty revealing. We're honestly just prolonging what we really want, which is intimacy and connection. He admitted he was sadly mistaken with what he said back then and asked for her forgiveness.
And the sources do confirm she accepted his apology. So you have this very public moment of like reflection and seeming reconciliation
Hmm.
happening just days before he's publicly cheering her billion-dollar business success. It's a powerful contrast the sources definitely highlight, navigating personal growth, past issues, alongside this huge professional win.
And Hailey herself, she talked about navigating all the public scrutiny in that Vogue interview the sources mentioned.
Right. Learning from Justin, presumably.
Exactly. Learning from him, because he's dealt with it since he was, what, a kid.
Yeah, basically his whole life.
She shared the advice he gave her, which is quite a perspective, actually. He told her, you're not going to win. There is no winning when you're facing that level of scrutiny.
Just accept it, kind of.
Sort of. And despite what the sources specifically call numerous reports of marriage problems, Hailey has publicly said they are each other's biggest fans.
And just for context, the sources add some timeline details. They married in 2018
Right.
and welcomed their son, Jack Blues Bieber, in August 2024. So these big moments are happening within this established history.
Yeah, and to really get a feel for that connection and how their lives are just constantly playing out publicly,
Yeah.
the sources give us these little glimpses over time. It shows this isn't new. This
Yeah.
mix of personal and public, it's been their reality for years.
Yeah, the material has these snapshots that really illustrate their shared history. Like, there was a detail from reporting back in April 2025 about Hailey supporting Justin's new clothing brand, Skyldirk.
Oh, yeah,
She was apparently wearing a jacket she was designing for it. It shows that kind of ongoing mutual support, right?
definitely. Or looking back even further, like Justin's anniversary post, I think it was their 5th year,
Mm-hmm.
saying things like, you have captivated my heart, and looking ahead, something like, we're going to be better at 70, baby, here we go.
It captures that mix of romance, but also this, like, commitment to the long haul they talk about.
And even tiny moments from way back. The sources mention Hailey giving Justin her hair dye in January 2015, years before they even got married. A small thing, but it points to that long connection.
Or the details from Justin's huge engagement announcement post in 2018. The sources pull out quotes like, "My heart is completely and fully yours, and I will always put you first." These specific bits from the sources, they really paint a picture of the public story around their relationship over all these years.
So, okay, pulling all this together from what we've seen in the sources,
Hmm.
this deep dive, it really shows us the massive scale of the Rhode Beauty deal.
Yeah, a billion-dollar valuation, achieved incredibly quickly, and Hailey staying right in the thick of it. And crucially, it shows how the sources connect that huge professional achievement directly to the very personal, very public history of her relationship with Justin.
Right. These moments of public support, but also personal reflection, dealing with past conflicts. It's all happening at the same time as these huge business milestones.
Yeah, what this deep dive really illustrates, based on the material, is that navigating enormous professional success, it doesn't happen in a bubble, especially not for people like Hailey and Justin.
No way.
It's deeply, deeply embedded in their ongoing personal lives, their growth, and that constant public microscope.
Which really brings up a thought-provoking question, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Looking at everything the sources presented,
Hmm.
what does it actually mean to build a billion-dollar brand, to hit that kind of professional peak?
Hmm.
While you're also navigating a relationship that everyone is watching, acknowledging past issues, growing personally, starting a family, how do those completely different parts of life inevitably shape and influence each other? That's definitely something to think about.